Yo, boys, HadsChat 13 with Sam. But instead of Hoss, we got
Yo,
Gaden!
yo, yo,
Let's
yo.
go.
You in here?
The
Gaden?
better replacement.
What? Gaden was a most wanted guest from Sam for some reason. Why? Explain that, Sam, right now.
So the reason I really wanted Gaden on the pod, and it wasn't even necessarily for him to be a co-host replacing Haas, but I wanted
Oh
him on the
my.
pod. I wanted him on the pod because Gaden, he just knows what he's talking about when it comes to most things, but also he just has a way of speaking that I think is really good for a podcast. And I've been on record saying that he reminds me a lot of George Janko, and some people view that as a diss, but I don't. I think George Janko is one of the best people in the
Is he
podcast
a
business.
podcaster?
I love George Jaco, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he
I
is.
genuinely really like George Jaco.
Yeah, because
If
when
you
I
look at
told
the,
Gaden that, or go ahead, sorry.
if you look at the Impulsive podcast, he's like I don't know. He's kind of been on a downward spiral for a while. But like, if you look at him and Mike, they keep it together hard.
Yeah, they have a
They
they
bring
have
a
a
lot of
sense of
diversity.
professionalism too that I value. So that's kind of what I wanted Gaden on.
Oh, George is
They
that.
diversify the podcast hard.
I was actually gonna do a bonus podcast last night with some people
A
here.
bonus.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that'd be cool.
they flaked.
Did they?
It was so lame. It was like 10 p.m. And I don't know if you met Sophie and Nikki, Sam.
I have, yeah.
It was gonna be like a girl perspective podcast, but they're funny. It would have actually been a funny podcast too.
Oh, like the what's it called? That one
Hell
pod
no, I know what
that
you're
was
talking
for
about. Hell
yeah.
no. Are you talking about
The Barstool one that like
yes,
folded
what
and
the
like
fuck was it called? Call Me
still a thing.
Daddy.
Yeah, Call Me Daddy. Yeah.
No, they literally said that. I was like, hell no, it's not gonna be like that. But
I thought that podcast blew up.
no, it was
It
really
did.
good.
It's huge.
But
It's still huge.
I
They
hated
just-
it. It's
She
it's,
like left Barstool.
it's for girls
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I could never watch it. Just the name.
Yeah,
I kind of
the
knew I
name's
was
a
up for the
little
name. As soon as I heard "Call Me Daddy," I was like, "I'm never." Listening
Yeah,
to this.
but it was like 12 a.m. and they were drinking, and they said if I drank, they would do the podcast at 2. So we drank and all stayed up for 2 hours. I didn't want to play drinking games and stuff. I just did it for the pod because I thought it'd be funny if we were all drunk for it. And then 2 hits, and I said let's do it, and they flaked and said no, I don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, I'm never doing that shit again.
That's some
Dang, they
fake
played you.
behavior.
Yeah, I know, right? At least I can rely on getting Gaden 10 minutes in. Like, literally texted Gaden like 10 minutes ago because Hoss has work and couldn't do it today. And Gaden was down, so.
Dang. Seems like Jackson's really a flake monster. Anybody watch the YouTube video, they should
Jackson-
know that he didn't
Jackson
pick up
has
the call
work.
either.
Yeah. Side note: someone tonight quit on Haas. Actually, they just up and left and said, "Fuck this shit, I'm done," and quit. So he's definitely going through it right now.
That's all nursing. Poor nursing. I don't know how Josh has stayed it. Dude, that's crazy. Or Jackson. I don't know how they stayed it so long. You have to be like a special person to do
You gotta
nursing.
be built different.
Dude, it's crazy. The amount of stuff Josh will talk about whenever he's just washing patients is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just washing?
Being racist. Josh will get like some 80-year-old woman who's got dementia. She goes back to like the 1920s. And she
Oh,
just
God.
sees Josh, and she's like, nah. She just goes off. Josh has to just kind of leave the room.
What's the craziest horror
Response.
story you've heard from Josh? Hasn't he had like a prolapsed anus before?
Dude. Yeah, that was like year 1 of Josh. Josh is like 5 years in now, dude. He's been through like World War II. There's no way he hasn't seen insane stuff. He told me, what is it when you have like a hole in your side and you like kind of like you have a bag? What
Like
is it called?
the insulin pump thing? I don't know.
No, like a bag that you like kind of like
You're
poop.
talking about like a feeding or like what's it called too?
Like it's one of those it's one of those bags you have on the side. It's like your like crap comes out of it. So he said some lady had that, right. They took the bag off. This guy stuck his penis in it.
What the fuck?
Oh!
Her husband stuck his penis in it and was like, I guess I'm gonna have sex somehow. And she was like, go ahead, honey. He got an
That's
infection.
unbelievable.
He got an infection in his penis, dog, because it just shit went in his.
Dude.
It's crazy.
That's
That was
unbelievable.
that was a couple weeks ago. That was like that was like 2 months ago. Josh was like, "Yeah, this guy did this and he got an infection." I was like, "Dude, that's
Yeah, but see right there, it doesn't even face him anymore. So there's
dude."
some goodness to it, I
It's
guess.
like he just came back from the war and he's talking about stories. He's just his eyes are glazed over.
Yeah, let's not kid ourselves though. It is Josh we're talking about. Like some of the shit
Yeah.
he'll send us is just unbelievable. Like he's into that type of stuff.
he finds pleasure.
Yeah. So
Josh is gonna be insane. We're gonna be hanging around Josh in like 10 years from now, and somebody's gonna get shot. Josh is gonna have like just super calm, cool, collected. Be a
it's
psychopath.
definitely beneficial having someone around who's like desensitized to that. Glad it's not me though.
Josh is definitely gonna have some nightmares in the middle of the night.
Oh, 100%.
I don't even know what I was thinking. I was originally gonna do nursing, dude.
Dude, yeah, you were gonna do
Yeah, I
nursing, and
remember
I remember
that.
hearing that, and after hearing
But it was
Josh's stories, it's
different,
like
though.
Cameron would not survive.
I was gonna do the nurse anesthetist route, which is pretty
Oh
different.
yeah. Yeah, it definitely takes a turn after like the first 2 years, I'd assume.
Yeah, and I just settled on
That's-
podcast host.
That's what they
Yeah.
all say is, yeah, he's getting paid big money now.
You
Well,
went
they
the
also-
smart route, the business route. You can make way more money in business. You just got to be a go-getter.
Well, they say
Yeah.
like the first years of nursing is the worst. Like that you have to do everything that sucks,
Oh, the
which is
grunt
every
work.
job. Yeah, which is every job, but nursing especially sucks.
Yeah, definitely. I would say the biggest difference is like if you get that degree in whatever it is that you're doing nursing wise, those first couple of years the paycheck's gonna look a lot better than the first couple of years for someone trying to do like business or something. But
Yeah.
True.
like I said, if you really, make connections and meet the right people, do the right things, you can make way more than a nurse can make.
Or you could just do a trade and then just make bank.
That too. So I would say for your
Trade's, like,
sake, you
easy.
probably made the best decision, Cam.
Yeah, I don't know about all jobs. I had a friend, Blake. Blake worked at Chick-fil-A forever, and he like stayed the same.
He worked at Wendy's.
No, he's at
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A. Like that's how he knew how much the water cost.
Mhm.
He was a Wendy's man though too. I remember.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy thinks he's
Water isn't free at Chick-fil-A, by the way,
Yeah.
apparently, but it should be.
Thank goodness
So-
Blake worked there for a really long time. He knows.
Like there's the story. All right. Gabe actually worked at Chick-fil-A. How do you like Chick-fil-A more than MDI? Or you regret being an MDI main
Oh,
now?
I hated Chick-fil-A. No, I'd much rather work at MDI. I'd rather pick than work at Chick-fil-A.
Why though? I feel like you had way more free time when you worked at Chick-fil-A. Maybe I'm just tripping. I swear
Dude,
you were around more.
You work
Yeah.
the fastest possible fast food restaurant. You're always busy. With the one I worked at was super extremely busy, and you get paid $11. I got paid $12 an hour after like 2 years of being there, and then I went to MDI. Immediately got paid like $17.50. Made it production in the freezer, and then after like 6 months, made $24 an hour.
Yeah.
So I made like a
explain-
$6 increase.
Explain what MDI is, just for the viewers at home, so they can get
Alright.
an idea of the difference in work.
So basically, obviously everybody knows what Chick-fil-A does. So MDI is like, it's this warehouse, it's a food distribution warehouse, where basically my job was to walk around a warehouse all day and stack boxes on the pallets, like wooden pallets and plastic pallets, and then we would then wrap them and then ship them off to like grocery stores. So I'd be picking up like anything from like 5 pounds to like 100-pound boxes for like 10 hours.
So
Yeah.
definitely more demanding on the body. So
Yeah.
I could see why Cam would say maybe he would think that you enjoyed Chick-fil-A more. But
You
I
would think
understand.
so, but dude, no. It was like, it sucked.
I
Ass.
hated
it was just, It
MDI,
was
dude.
so boring too, and also it's like you're also timed for those who don't know. So it's like it's a production-based job, so you have to run a certain speed. If not, you get in trouble and you can get fired. And then also
And that's for
you like,
MDI, correct?
yeah, it's for MDI. And then you're also like, you pretty much walk, like if you're on production, which I was, of course. Cameron never even made it. He wasn't even relatively close.
Yeah, well, I only
Super
worked at
slow he
MDI
was.
for the summer, and it was during COVID. I knew I was never gonna get on production because it takes you like 3 months anyways to get on production. The boss would just yell at you, but for us then it was during COVID time, so we knew he could never actually fire us because they were like
That is
begging
true.
for work. So I just walked and didn't do shit because I knew nothing would happen to me. So yeah, I never got on production, so I didn't make the extra $3 an hour, but I thought it was worth it because I just got to walk around, and not have to do as much, I guess. And I
That
knew I
is
was
true. When you
leaving
go
anyways.
slow, it's much better. is much better. But when you go like when you're on production level, you pretty much like if you walk, you pretty much walk like a mile and a half per hour, basically. So like if you work a 10-hour shift, you walk like 12 miles. If you work like 8 hours, you walk like 10 miles. It's crazy. So like
Yeah,
you burn so many calories, and you also destroy your back. Your lower back's like done.
yeah, that's wild.
I just hated doing like I hated doing a job that was like still like you had to be at I guess a decent pace. Chick-fil-A is like the fastest fast food restaurant you could work at, I would
Hmm.
say. Or you could just you work at another place obviously, which is way harder, but
Hmm.
you also make like twice as much money. So I was
Yeah.
like I'd much rather make double the money and
And
just
you're
do a
not
harder
having to
job.
deal with customer service type stuff either,
Not at all. I could
which
work
is
like that.
nice.
I would also work like 40 hours. I would work like dude, what, like 90 hours in 2 weeks. I got paid bi-weekly, and I would make like $600. And then at MDI, I got paid weekly, and I would work 24 hours, and then I would get paid 600. I worked legitimately half the time. I like didn't slave away. I'd work 2 days and make what I made in what 8 days at Chick-fil-A, 10 days at
Jeez.
Chick-fil-A. I'd work 2 days and make the same amount of money basically. Or 4 days, sorry, 4 days to 10 days. I'd work two
Yeah.
weeks. I'd make 4 days. Yeah, it's crazy,
I could never work at fast food, bro.
dude. Never. I walked in the fast food and I'm like, dude, this sucks to be you guys. Like, I understand if you're depressed,
Well, you got
but
like PTSD just walking in the McDonald's?
no, yeah, I like. Well, I sit down and like, dang, I feel good coming to McDonald's. I'm happy because I get to like order food and leave. But you
Yeah,
guys
but
have to
back
like
then,
sit here.
yeah,
It sucks. It like stay. It
yeah,
like it's
bad.
like completely different.
Do you still watch a lot of comedians game?
Oh, I love comedians. I was actually just watching I was listening to a Theo Von podcast, and he
Yeah,
I
had
I
a guy
consider
love
that
Theo
Shane
Vaughn.
different.
Gillis.
I love Theo Vaughn.
I meant more stand up.
Oh yeah, I watch stand up all the time. I watched there's this guy named Shane Gillis that he was on the Theo Von podcast, and
Yeah,
he has probably the best stand up special I've ever seen.
Wait, Danny,
really.
is that the Asian dude?
No,
Oh.
Shane
Shane. I
Gillis is
sent
like a
you.
newer guy.
Yeah, he's newer. He got banned off of like he got SNL, and then like he has a podcast with his best friend since like they were like fives, and he's he said like he has horrible like racist stuff on his podcast, and so he got like 5 days on SNL and immediately got dropped.
Yeah.
He got canceled in 5 days. He got the job and was like, "Oh shoot," and then got canceled, and then he blew up. And
It's
It's,
now
crazy,
he's
man.
like, he went on Joe Rogan, and then like now he's like everywhere.
is this so weird how canceling has different effects on people like that, dude? Some people get
Yeah,
canceled, you'll never hear from them again. Some people get canceled and blow up from being canceled. That makes no sense.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
sick. He got to meet like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's like the top dog. He's like the
I
goat. Everybody
love Dave
considers him.
Yeah,
Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle controls like everything.
Yeah, and he was on stage with Dave Chappelle, and Dave Chappelle brought him up, and he like yeah, they were like talking the whole time. His stand up special personally to me was better than Dave Chappelle's. I love Dave Chappelle. I watched like 3 of his specials, and the Shane Gillis is like his special was like the best special I've ever seen.
I,
It
s-
is the funniest thing I've ever seen. It made me laugh like all the way through.
I still can't even watch stand up comedians, bro. I don't know what it is. It's some
You gotta
psychological
find
effect
what
on
you
me.
like, bro. You gotta find what you like. I don't feel like you found it humor wise. Because there's some
I
stand up
love
that's ass, dude.
there's a lot of stand up that's ass. Most of it's
Yeah.
ass.
It's just the psychological thing of them standing up there. Just me knowing they're trying to make people laugh. I don't know why that makes me impossible for me to laugh. It
Really?
just does.
Pride
Yes. It's so weird.
Yeah, but it's the same thing in conversation. Like in the like Theo Vaughn, like his entire thing is just trying to make somebody laugh the entire time. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
I find it so different though for some reason. Like Theo Von just telling us, like I can listen to comedians tell a story and think it's a funny story.
That's like
And that's
almost
most
all
of
of
them
stand
now.
up, though. A lot
Yeah.
of it, at least.
I like Tom Segura. Tom Segura is really funny. Theo Vaughn's really funny. Dave Chappelle obviously is amazing because he's like great storyteller. It's not even like he has to be funny. Like watching his stand up is like I don't know the way he tells the story is crazy. And then Shane Gillis is really funny.
Tom Segura shouted out LR a couple months ago. I don't know if you saw that.
Did he?
Yeah,
I know he went to LR.
Yeah, he finally shouted out LR, and he was like, "Yeah, when I went there, it wasn't anything special, but I went back recently, and it's like crazy different." He was like, "They've upgraded like everything." He's
Dang,
like,
he
"It's a
went
good."
back.
He was like, it's like a really good school now. Is what he was saying. He was like, I couldn't
Nah.
get in there now if I wanted to, but I don't know how true that is. I think he probably could get in still, but
No,
it was
he's a
cool to see
competent
him.
person.
It was cool to see him shout out his semi alma mater. I'm not sure if he graduated or not, but
Fun fact to all the viewers: Eric Church sent us a message whenever we graduated. Big
really,
deal. Big deal.
Wait,
Yeah.
did he? I don't even remember that.
Graduated. We graduated in COVID. Cameron clearly, dang, he doesn't.
Wait, you
doesn't
talking
care
about me too? Oh shit.
Yeah, I guess you don't care about country music and country stars that come from our hometown. It's okay.
Wait.
Humble beginnings.
Did he send us like a video
Yeah,
or something on graduation day?
They
I
played a
don't
video at
remember
our graduation because it was 2020 and it was COVID, and so like every week everything was like shut down, and so I guess they were like, hey, you should send some. So
Yeah,
then
definitely.
His PR person was like, you should send something to your high school. So then he sent us like, I don't remember what it said. I just remember hearing his voice like, my name's Eric Church.
I
Something.
remember when I went to South.
Yeah, it
Shit
was
like
something.
that.
But yeah, he sent us he sent us a school message. Madison Bumgarner didn't send anything, but it's a,
Maybe
Yeah,
one day
little fakey.
we'll all have to send something.
yeah. What are
One
you
of
gonna
us.
say? What are you gonna say?
What am I gonna say? I don't know what I'd say. What did Eric Church say? I mean, probably just the basic cookie cutter shit. Congratulations on graduating, guys. I know it was a hard year. You tried your best.
Push through.
Yeah, like exactly.
Push through.
Yeah, that's a little
I'm
different.
so proud
than,
of y'all.
Sending
Yeah, it's-
something because you like wanted to, and it wasn't like some special circumstances.
That's really funny. That's probably exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
It sounded like it. I don't remember what he said, but that sounded like it.
That's probably why I forgot about it because it's so basic. I know some parents though were like, "Oh, he's he's so sweet for doing this."
Such a good guy.
I mean,
Dude, it would
it
have
is
been way
nice,
cooler
I
if he would
guess,
have wrote
though.
a song. Like if he would have sang a song and sent us a video, that would have been sick.
Yeah, or
He's like,
pulled
he just goes
up.
out to South Caldwell High School, sings
Well, he
a
does-
song, video records it, sends it to us. That'd be sick.
That'd be crazy if he did it for y'all's class, but I don't think he'd ever do that for anyone. He already has
Nah.
a song about the town itself, so
Or yeah, like
Wait, what
Cameron
song?
did that.
What's the name of the song about?
it's like my hometown or something. He sings about South, Friday Night Lights, the Pizza Hut right there across
that's
from
cool.
Fair Value. Like he
that.
sings about all of it. Yeah.
The Baby has a rap song talking about a cookout in Charlotte that my brother's been to. It's pretty cool.
He's a song about Cookout. That's proof Cookout's the best fast food chain.
He talks about
Oh.
shooting somebody or something like that, but
Shit.
Oh.
Another fun
at
fact.
the
Never mind.
cookout around the corner, there's blah 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 or something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he talks about
Another-
like a chase.
Another fun fact about that song that Eric Church sings is he talks about the prom, and I'm almost certain he's referencing John's mom because John's mom went to prom with him. So that's kind of crazy.
Wait, what does he say? Is he like, "Can't wait to get you home and take off"? Like, what does he say?
I'll tell you. Hang on. Give me 1
With
second.
them whispering pines.
Yeah, like, does he go into
I was
dirty
talking-
detail about John's mom? That'd be hilarious.
All right, the song's called "Give Me Back My Hometown." So here's one of the lyrics: "My friends try to cheer me up, get together at the Pizza Hut," which he's talking about the one right there.
What about
Oh
Springsteen?
my god.
Maybe
I
the
can't find
tattoo
it, but
the tattoo with the brand new ink. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
Maybe that's John's mother.
she
What?
does have a
He got a
tattoo, from what
tattoo?
I understand.
He has a tattoo of somebody's name on his arm from high school.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was Springsteen. That was the song.
Oh,
Baby, is it spring or is it summer? Relive the glory days.
yeah, and this old tattoo had brand new ink. We didn't care
You
about.
think
the mom
about
thing.
my old Jeep. Think about the stars in the
Oh,
sky.
that's
Funny how
so
a melody.
weird. Oh my
Uh,
gosh, that'd be so funny.
About
Yeah.
your name on my arms, baby. Is it spring or is it summer? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking up a picture of Eric Church. Eric Church arm
Go look
tat.
at his arm. Go put his arm. Yeah.
Yeah, find his arm.
What's John's mother's name?
Tara.
I looked
He
up
could've been a
Eric
player.
Church arm tat, and it's just people with Eric Church tattoos on their arm.
Yeah, figures. I mean, he's massively famous. So
Name on
Which-
arm.
I never like understood that, but
To this day, when I hear that
he's
song.
really big.
Damn, he does not look like I thought he looked like. I thought he was like a chubby dude.
Dude, he has like
Nah,
no
that's
arm
good.
tattoo. What does he mean, the tattoo on my arm? You're not even. You're
Yeah,
sleeveless.
bro's capping.
Oh, dude, he's not from Caldwell County. There ain't no way. You lied about that.
He
He didn't go to
runs
South
the
Caldwell
city.
High School. No, yeah, he's a normal, like, he's a skinny guy.
He wrote the song "Give Me Back My Hometown." He wrote in the band room.
Was that like one of his
Yeah.
first songs he released?
No, that was like a big PR thing, like stunt. Like the whole deal was he was gonna come and write that song, and like finish writing it at his old high school since he was singing about the town. And like he came and his tour bus sat at Fair Value like for a week. I'm surprised you guys don't remember that. That was like when I was I think I was a junior, so you guys would have been sophomores. I'd
I
pass
had
it
no
every
idea
day.
that was a thing. Really?
Yeah, yeah. It was like after hours though. Like he wasn't there when like we were in school, but
Dang, and I was in band and my teachers didn't say anything about it? That's crazy.
I know, right?
I don't think
It
in
was happening when
all
I
the
was in
years I
band
went to
group.
South, I ever
Well, I
went
doubt
to a
he
band room.
actually was sitting down and writing. You know what I mean, Gaden? It was probably more of like, let's get a photo op of me like sitting
Oh,
down,
definitely.
fake writing. But you know what I'm saying?
What'd you say, Cameron?
So,
I don't think I was ever in the. I don't think I ever visited the band room. What was it, South? I don't even know. I can't even tell you where that was.
right there near the aux gym,
Yeah.
sex ed classroom, across from the way.
I can't think about it. It's also been 4 years since I've been to South. Just crazy to think about as well.
Yeah.
That is crazy to think about.
Jesus.
Speaking of band, Gaden, I made my brothers because my brother's the band director at Lincoln High. I made their
Oh, really? I did
their
not know
show video or whatever.
that. Really?
Like you know how like they do those banquets and at the end they show like what the new show is or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I made it. I need to show you it, bro. It's like crazy. I use so much like After Effects stuff. I
Wait,
showed
so
it
your
to
brother
Co-
became a band director?
Yeah, my brother's currently a band director. He wants to do administration though one day for like a college, but he's doing that right now. He's gonna go back
That's
and get his
crazy.
doctorate. But I showed Coda because he knows enough about like band and stuff, and he was like, "Bro, that's the greatest show video I've ever seen ever." He was like, "Those
Really?
kids are gonna go crazy." Yeah, I need to show you it.
Probably will. Yeah, you can send it to me because I mean I've seen multiple. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
let you
I
know
didn't
what
know
it. Let me know what you think. I'll send it to you after the pod.
Gaten was that classic band kid in high school.
No, I wasn't classic. I was kind of like
You're that
I don't know. I was kind of everywhere, you know. I was as they described, sporty band kid.
sporty band kid.
Yeah, I was a sporty one. I was a
Gaden
little
did play sports.
Jocks band kid. I was
Gaden did
I
play
was the
sports.
cool one. I was the cool guy.
You were the cool band kid.
And I remember when I first met Gaden. It was at his
Pretty cool.
freshman tryout for soccer. And
I was not so cool. I was not so cool then.
I couldn't believe your name was Gaden at the time. But I wasn't one of the ones that made fun of it. I remember vividly Matt fucking whatever his name was.
Bench starter. Yeah. JV.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that dude. I remember
Hole in
he
his
like
chest.
yeah, made fun of you for your name like the whole tryout. And I was just like, bro, I hated that dude, mind you.
Dude, I hated him too.
yeah.
He stuck ass.
Yeah, Andy was a tool. It was awful.
No, I was in the drum line. which is the
Oh
only
shit, you were the
part.
cool band kids. All the other band kids are. What's like the basic thing about band kids? They just do the old worn
So
out
weird.
memes over and over.
They're so weird.
Like, what
Oh,
are
yeah, there's, like-
those?
Every
Dead
band
serious?
kid is like 5'10" that are cool out of every high school.
I actually
That's
love
fact.
band kids. I can't lie. Like, they're weird as fuck, but they're like the realest ones ever. I love them. I would think we
I
talked about that on the
remember-
podcast before.
You did, yeah. I remember going to marching band for the first time, and I remember like going into it, and then I came home like after my first practice. And I was
Mhm.
like, wow, these kids are weird.
That's why I didn't
like
do
they're
band after
notably
middle
more
school.
weird, dog.
They're definitely
Blake was a
weird.
band kid.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Blake was a band kid. Yeah, it's scary.
Well, Blake's weird as fuck, though. That checks out.
Dude, I remember I went to Chicago and played in the second biggest marching band parade, just to let you guys know.
Aside from the
And,
Macy's Day.
Yeah, I was just in Chicago, second biggest parade, Thanksgiving. And when we were there, we stayed in this hotel. I wasn't there. I was a freshman. I wasn't in the same room as these guys. These guys are like sophomores and juniors. And when we got back, they were looking at a video that they recorded each other walking. Like, you know how hotel rooms always have the hallway, and then there's the
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
square area with the beds, right? So you can't see down the hallway when you're sitting on the bed. And they're like videotaping from the bed, and they just like one by one videotape different videos of them just walking out naked, like doing a little dance.
What
Okay.
the fuck?
I
And
I don't even know
was
if that's
like-
a band kid thing, bro. That's just like
That's like a
gay.
Boy Scout thing.
It's just gay, bro. Like,
Yeah,
straight
dude.
up.
I was pretty confused, and then Yeah, I didn't do. I didn't hang out with those guys.
Sure.
By the way, they played trumpet, so that
Wait,
explains.
what the fuck? Wait.
Well, shit, I played trumpet.
That checks out.
By the way, we got two
Mm,
trumpet players in the lobby, and it's not me.
yeah. Trumpet was by far the
No,
coolest.
I was a cool trumpet player though. I was
Yeah,
like your
I'm
other
sure you're trying to
trumpet
come
player.
back all cool.
Likewise.
Videotape each other naked, walking down the hallway. You guys were.
Yeah, those dudes were just different, bro. It has nothing to do with band or trumpet or anything. They were just experimenting or
What?
something.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's so. They literally.
First of all, though, some of our friends, our friends got kind of fruity. Like sports, like I'm sad to be. It's kind of sad. We got to a really fruity generation.
Who?
Like
Yeah, after
dude, I remember senior year we were like practicing on the field, and this whole thing with chicken. Do you remember the whole chicken thing?
Wait, chicken. I didn't play soccer, so I don't know.
Oh, I got you. Well, it was more than just soccer. Don't worry. So, although soccer was also extremely gay for some reason, so chicken. Everybody knows
Just a
chicken
soccer
is
player
like the
thing?
original. No, the original game, right? Is two people go at each other like at cars, right? And whoever veers off is a chicken. They somehow transformed it. By the way, Jack Reichling was extremely good at this game. He loved this game.
Alright.
Bragged about it. And so the game was two guys walk up to each other, challenge each other, right? So you both pucker up your lips, and whoever pulls away is a chicken. And the goal is
Jesus.
obviously you don't want to. I guess you're gonna kiss the other boy. And so, dead ass. I remember Freddie and Jack would walk around. They're like, "I never lose a game with chicken. I never lose a game with chicken." And Jack was like, "I kissed like 5 boys today." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
What?
And
How-
Reichling was like, "I never lose a game with chicken." And Freddie was like, "Neither have I."
Was there ever like a championship match between Rack and Freddy where they just made out for hours? Everyone was like, "Wait, what the fuck's going on? I thought this was just a game." They're just still making out like
They had,
relentlessly.
yeah, they probably got Elliot involved, dog. They probably went crazy. They definitely did.
Dude, that's the thing. I swear, I've heard of soccer players being like that. I've heard of football players being like that. But us basketball boys, never. That was never a thing. Which I love, dude. Like, there was never any of that, like, super gay locker room humor for no reason. I never got why that
I
was a
didn't
thing in
understand
other
it.
sports.
Neither did
because
I.
all the other sports were confident in their own skin. I think they were confident in their sexuality.
Nah. I don't think that's.
I mean, it never happened.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I mean, surprise, surprise, it never happened at tennis. So
It sounds like
I
you're
don't know.
capping right now.
Well, tennis was just
sure.
like all the openly gays.
no,
Didn't
it
really
never
have anything
happened
to
in
hide.
college tennis, and it never happened in high school tennis. 'Cause,
I wanted
like I
to
said,
play-
we were against that shit. Like,
I
you
wanted
just
to
didn't do
play
it.
golf in high school, and the reason I didn't play golf was because I heard from someone. I don't remember if it was Alex or somebody else. I remember hearing that they were like, "All right, if you don't get the ball, like if you don't hit the ball like 10 feet off the tee, when you would like drive."
I
or
know what
whatever,
you're
you pull
talking
down-
about.
Yeah, you have to like pull down your pants and like show your dick. And I was like, I'm not playing golf, I guess.
Oh, that's
That
like
sucks.
that's a golf thing in general, like a joke that people make. Like if
Yeah.
your first shot off the tee isn't good, you gotta drop your pants. But it doesn't mean dick out. It's just like
Yeah,
watch
but
it.
they definitely. There's no way that some of those boys did not dick out. They definitely did.
Yeah, perhaps, definitely. I think a lot of that stuff too, though, is to weed out the people that like are hesitant
Weak.
to play,
Weed out
and
the
so
weak.
they create this fake lore or like these stories to like prevent certain people from even attempting to be on the team.
Straight guys, I guess.
That's why hazing exists too. Sometimes, even though I'm not for hazing, like a lot of that's a thing because they're trying to get rid of the people who are doing it for reasons that aren't the reason they want you to do it.
It's sad that soccer was extremely gay for some reason. I don't know why, but it always bothered me. But then again, we did have Blake. We had Jack Reichling. We had Anthony Tosi.
Yeah, it might have just been because you had
We
Blake.
had a bunch
bro.
of Hispanics.
Blake, Blake
Probably
alone
was
is enough
just
to,
Blake.
to say that the team was all gay. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Love Blake, but that man get handsy, bro.
No.
Dude, there was a lot of Hispanic kids. A lot of them went crazy. I don't know. They got a little too close with each other. That's all I can say. I was never a big fan.
Sure. We'll have Rack on the podcast next, and Rack will be talking about how you're the chicken champion.
So,
Yeah, you should introduce him as like, we are the chicken champion here, and he's gonna be like, what does that mean? Just explain.
So Gaden, I know before the pod you had said you wanted to ask me a certain question, but we said we'd leave it for the pod. So
Yeah. So I was playing golf with Colby the other week. You know, just enjoying. I was playing a round of 9 with him and his dad in the afternoon. They just randomly told me. I was like, oh, okay, I'll pull up. Played, and then he was like, yeah. I can't remember how we got into it, but he said you voted for Biden. I was very disappointed.
So,
So I just wanted to know why, how you got into that.
all right, yeah. I'll get into it, but I'll have some counter questions. So the reason I voted Biden is, and I think it's a big reason a lot of people voted Biden, is we felt like us moderates, I would say I'm in the middle, felt like the country was too divisive and split, and we felt like the only way to maybe get us back to, one people, one nation was a change in leadership. And that isn't necessarily a reflection on Donald Trump, but the image and the stigma that was carried with his name created this sense of divisiveness, and just like we are not all equals as Americans. Like we were infighting, and that's the last thing I want, is for all of us as Americans to fight each other. You know what I mean? We should be fighting other countries, not ourselves. So when I sat down and contemplated who I was going to vote for, that was really what it came down to. Was it's not that Biden was a better choice, but he was just someone different, you know?
Right.
And I felt like someone different is what maybe needed to happen for myself and others to see the change that we wanted to see, which was, unity amongst the American people.
Which, by the way, I'm
Uh,
not saying you should have voted Trump.
oh yeah, no, I know that, but I'm just letting you know why, and that's the big reason why. And I feel like overall, that one goal that I kind of wanted to see happen has happened, but not for the right reasons. I think the reason we're all united now is one, because of things abroad, but two, because Biden brought a lot of problems with him. One being, the
His
whole
dementia.
Sleepy Joe and shit like that. And yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he does have some sort of dementia or something. But I feel like people throw that around too loosely. Like I 100% would concede the fact that uh, Biden has not set a good standard for the economy and foreign affairs and stuff like that. But at least I can go to bed happy at night knowing that the reason I did vote for him at least has been solved
Have you seen the
marginally.
video of him talking to the Pope?
No, and like I said, his communication is not the best.
Dude,
I fully concede that.
you know what he says in the video? It's white. It's like white from the internet. It's so hard to find. It's impossible now. Like YouTube has banned it off of everything. He walks up, he shakes the Pope's hand, and
Yeah.
he whispers, and he goes, "You're that famous black African American." And then the lady walks up, and the Pope goes, yes. And then this
What
lady
the
walks
heck?
up. This lady walks up and goes, "Did you just call him African American?" Dude, it's the funniest video I've ever seen. It's wild.
It's pretty
And
funny.
then there's also like, so the school shooting in Texas happens, right?
Yeah,
And then
Uvalde.
like, dude, he's supposed to come down and talk about it, and the first thing he says when he comes down is, "I came down here for ice cream. I was told
Oh,
it was gonna be
yeah.
ice cream, and there ain't no ice cream." I was
Yeah, I
like,
saw that.
dude, there's no way you started a speech talking about addressing a school shooting
With
by
that,
like, "Oh, look at
yeah.
that young child in the front, that beautiful child. I was told I was supposed to be some ice cream down here." And he was like, "I'm gonna give me some ice cream." I was like, "Dude, what are you doing? What are you
Yeah.
doing, dog?" I was like, "Oh gosh."
So,
There's also a video of him when he's like in his like 50s or like 50s probably, and he's like talking to this guy about how like smart this guy is. This guy's like intellectually challenging him, and he lies about his entire resume, every single part of it. Then they dissect it. Like he's like the whole video is like, "I went to this college with," he's like, I had like no scholarship or whatever. Or he's like, "I had a half scholarship, and then I was like last in my class. I was like bottom half of my class. I graduated top third of my class." And then he's like, "I had like this GPA." He's like, "I came out with 3 degrees." And then the video after it is a reporter and goes, "Actually, he started in the bottom half of his grade and finished in the bottom half of his grade. He also graduated with 1 degree, not 3. He also," I was like, "Oh shit!" Like
yeah.
everything he said was a legitimate lie. Literally every single thing he said was a lie. That
Okay.
he named like 6 or 7 things.
So I counter
And this
by
is
asking
he's
you
like this
this.
is when he's like
do,
50.
Do not all politicians lie just about every day?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So why are we even discussing that?
Oh no,
Who
I was
cares?
just, I just, no, I was just saying it's
I was
funny.
actually about to go into that. I hate that. I agree that like yeah, Biden has done some autistic stuff, and also Trump did autistic stuff. I just hate how like biased the media is with it. Like Gaten
That's what I'm,
said, YouTube banned all the Biden shit, but if Trump
so
did
can you
something
guys
wrong,
at
it
least
was like
Yeah,
blown up
100%.
everywhere.
That's another thing I hate is that
That's
like,
what I hate.
yeah,
How it's so
they also
biased.
like
yeah, but that's because the
Biden has
media
never
is
asked
left.
anything bad, and then
It's not anything
everything's
on.
towards
It's not
Trump.
a reflection of Biden though. We got to understand that. That's the media. You know what I mean?
Well, he just shouldn't have been president. He's way too old to be
Yeah,
president.
but can you
That's
under?
my point.
But
How
Trump
did anybody go
is.
for it? He's
The
so
thing
old,
is Trump is like 3 years younger. It's not much of a difference. I think
but
they're
he's
both old.
intellectually fine.
I think they're both like old farts that shouldn't be running for office, in my opinion. I think we should have someone younger, completely. Trump, Biden, I don't care. Right wing, left wing, I don't care what your affiliation is. I just don't think these old farts should be in office. But aside
I
from
mean,
that, can you understand now why I would have, and others, maybe like Haas and Sack, not to speak for them, but why we would have voted for Biden over Trump
I
after I
guess so.
gave you that explanation? I mean, I think it's a pretty fair reason to do that. Like, it has nothing to do with politics. It has more to do with the United States and caring about, what we stand for, and that's not being, our enemies with our neighbor and shit like that. Because, like,
Yeah,
think back to the 1980s. Russia's literal goal was to, defeat us from within. And if you think about it, not saying that it's Russia or not, but we were kind of killing ourselves from within.
well, I will
When,
say he is the only person to like actually talk to Kim Jong Un. Like
oh
he
yeah,
did,
Trump,
yeah.
but
He's like there's other things that like he
that's
was
because
able to
he's
keep
not
other
a.
people. He kept
The
other people in
reason
check. That was the
the
good
re,
thing. He did
the
keep people in
reason
check.
that is because he's not a politician. So people like Kim Jong Un and others think they can take advantage of him. But what they don't realize is he's still, really like intelligent when it comes to like just speaking with others and the deal, the art of the deal. I mean, he's literally written a book about it.
He's a businessman, dog.
So that's why he was able to do that. I don't know if that has anything to do with like who Trump is. I think it has more to do with what he isn't. And that's why he was able to talk to Kim Jong Un, which I thought was really cool. I thought that was a good thing he did. What I will say is if the two candidates are Biden and Trump, I'll probably be voting Trump this go round
Yeah, same.
because what I've seen is nothing really from Biden other than he's a laughing stock and he there's still like this issue with is he able to speak for the American people properly and stuff like that. But then you run into the question of will Trump come in and continue to do what he's doing? And honestly, I don't think he will. I think we're going to see a different type of Trump if he wins the election.
I also just hate how they immediately painted him with like he did such a bad job with the vaccine, like with COVID. Like we've never even seen anything like COVID. Everybody's like, dude, he did the worst job you could ever do. He did horrible.
The only
And
things
it's
he could have
like,
done
huh?
better is he could have,
He didn't do
not
anything
he
that
could have
bad.
not lied in certain cases about the vaccine, and he could have just told the American people the truth. But that's on the U.S. government and China's government as a whole. Like they're the ones that covered this
Yeah.
shit up and tried to act like neither of them were to blame, even though both of them were involved in the Wuhan laboratory
But we all
after
know
the
that every
Fauci
single
files came
president
out.
would do that anyways. So that's the thing. So
Yeah,
it's
like
not even like one president. It's literally, yeah, like you said, the American government is everybody.
and that's why just as a whole we have to like take charge and control of our political system more. There's too many people in this country that just turn a blind eye and just say, I'll vote all right because that's where most of my views are, or all left because that's where. No one takes ownership in their politics. Not enough people, at least. Some people just don't even vote, like Cam.
Yeah.
That is true.
So,
'Cause I
but
just I don't care about politics at all.
yeah,
Neither do I.
we can segue from this, but I do have one last question. How did it come up? I gotta know when Colby brought it up. Like, what were you guys talking about?
It's like, God, Sam is
I
such a
don't remember.
dumbass. Well, give me some examples of how Sam's a dumbass. And then Colby probably said that.
Yeah, yes. No, it came up as like I can't even remember. I was probably talking about COVID or something, and I was probably talking about COVID and how Jackson believed COVID was an actual thing, and then
Oh shit! Nah.
that's what it was. I was talking about how Jackson believed that the booster is actually more beneficial than not getting the booster, and then I was talking about how there's all these professional players, high athletes, 20 years old, peak of their prime, passing out all over from soccer, all over different nations because they were forced to take vaccines. In basketball, forced to take vaccines. NBA players, NFL players, forced to take, and like they all passed out. There's videos of like compilations of them dropping. And then there's also another thing. It's like this guy Fauci talking about how you should never ever do a vaccine. You don't know what he would do long term. And this is like 30 years ago, and all of a sudden now he was like, "Oh, vaccine's perfect. You should do that. We should all take the vaccine. It's perfect. It's good for you." And then he like is all over the place. So like stuff like that. And Jackson, I remember talking to Jackson about it, and Jackson was like, "You should vaccine's fine. You know, it's not bad." And I was like, he was defending the vaccine.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess that's normal to do if
you.
you took it, but yeah, I get that.
Poor Josh.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. I guess the last question is, and we'll get off the politics, is you hear that Misak, Haas, and others voted Biden. Does that make you think any differently of us? This is more of a social test. Like genuinely.
You might have some invalid opinions.
No, but I'm saying like as a person. I'm saying as a person, like when you see us again, you're not like, oh god, he voted Biden. Like, ew.
It makes me think you're slightly retarded. But besides that, no.
Damn, that's not the answer I was hoping for. That concerns me.
That's not.
Because I think at the end of I'm glad you're honest, but I just think at the end of the day, like I could know people that are super fucking conservative, don't have any view that like aligns with mine at all. But at the end of the day, if they're a good person and like they want what's best for them and their families, I respect that, and I'm not gonna think any differently of them. So I
respect your decision. I just disagree with it, but I mean, I respect. Now I understand like how it really just. I was more just asking, I guess, like because I was curious. So, like, did you actually watch him speak prior? Did you watch him debate? Did you? Watch
I'm out of Misak and Haas. I probably watched more than anyone.
Yeah,
I was probably the most up to date.
Like, I was watching a podcast and this guy they were talking about how he voted for Biden, and they were like, "So have you followed anything since?" And he was like, "No." And they were like,
I mean that's like
right
the whole of America, bro. Even the right doesn't listen to half the shit Trump or anyone else says. They just think that they're gonna do what's best.
Oh no, I was just curious.
At the end of the day, too, like once you vote, you have no control. Like whoever gets it, and they'll do what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think voting is kind of useless. I'm pretty sure there's no way Biden did not get in there like illegally. We've never been.
Let's not go down this path because we'll be talking politics the whole time, Gaden.
Never. Well, I just want to say.
That's fine if you got the time. I think it's good. The
only reason I say that is because, like, apparently, right? Apparently,
I just don't have input.
We've never had any votes come in late, ever, until now.
I mean,
until then, we had thousands come in, all for Biden, only Biden. That's wild, dog. You can't tell me that's not corrupt in some way.
You make a good point, except for the fact that it's a little generalized because they weren't all for Biden, obviously. Because if
it was like thousands for Biden.
Well, obviously, but that could be just the American people speaking. But what I'll say,
stop the cat, dog.
What I'll say, ain't
no way we're in the best generation ever to get communication, and all of a sudden we have thousands late, dude. There's no way. There ain't no way they didn't do that in 1920. They counted all of them up within time.
Well, yeah, but there was less people, less voters, shit like that. But this is what I'll say.
2020.
This is what I'll say, Gaden. Gaden, this is what I'll say though. Whether he got in the right way or the wrong way, there's no way I think any sane human can sit here and tell me that Trump had a right to office after what he did January 1st or whatever and the insurrection. I mean, he should not have been in office at least for however long it was going to take for them to figure out the truth behind that. I mean, he literally had a cry to his people that support him like Jesus Christ, literally, and had them go and storm the Capitol and perform a coup d'etat on our government officials. Tell me that that's the guy you'd want in office right then and there. That doesn't sound good to me. And
No,
that's
you're not
and
good.
I'd say that if I was right wing too. Like it has nothing to do with affiliation. I believe in, you know, the voice of the American people, whether that actually exists or not. I like to think it does. And if that happened or happened again, I would be against whoever was in support of that. I think at the end of the day, this upcoming election is one of the most important ones, and hopefully we elect the correct person, whether that be Trump or someone else. I'll tell you right now, I really don't want it to be Biden. So
We just need someone to put our economy in normal.
I want,
Not shit
well,
on us.
historically, conservatives are always going to come in and boom the economy up, but as soon as they're leaving office, they kill it. And that's a way of getting reelected and shit like that. So it really doesn't matter who's in office. They're all, each side has a political strategy to get reelected. And typically when the election cycle's coming in, you'll see if there's a conservative incumbent, then there will be some massive like social justice problem that'll come out of the woodworks that you're like, where the fuck did this come from, right? And then the left wing guy will win, obviously, because everyone, the moderates, the silent majority, will say, well, we need to solve this issue, right? Like for me, when I felt like uh, we had a big problem with divisiveness between the left and the right, so the silent majority voted Biden, right? And then say it's a left wing incumbent. Well, now you have an economic crisis because the typically the House of Representatives and the Senate, who will be majority conservative, will ensure that there's something wrong with the economy, and then that right wing uh, person running for president will then win because we have an economic crisis. You know what I mean?
I think it's blown out of proportion how big of a deal the left and the right are. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm
versus
saying, and that's
we had a
why it's a
civil
problem.
war. We had a civil war.
That's why it's a problem, dude. And that's why instead of everyone hating everyone's opinions, we need to understand everyone's opinions and realize that it's us against the politicians more so than it is the left versus the right, aka me versus you per se. Even though I still say I'm more moderate.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a shit show.
I think your
And
voting is useless. I'm with Cameron.
yeah,
I
it's
think
useless. It might be useless, like it doesn't feel like anything, but at the same time, it's a right that we are privy to, and I think everyone should take advantage of that. Same way they do with freedom of speech and right to bear arms and stuff like that. Like, why are we acting like our right to vote means nothing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I liked the one thing I think everybody liked about Donald Trump was the fact that he was just like blunt and he was like brutally honest. Where like as like people would try to hide the fact that they're lying or that they're going back like on the system, going behind the system and like doing dirty work, and he's just like, yeah, that's we all do that. Everybody does that.
Yeah, that definitely
Everybody liked that.
helped. That helped Trump's case in a lot of ways. I liked it to an extent. I wasn't a fan of the Twitter stuff, but that's more of a personal preference thing. It has nothing to do with his politics. I just prefer a more professional, stand up and speak to the people behind a podium type president.
Dude,
Um,
speaking of Twitter, that's
yeah,
also crazy. You guys know
that's
anything
a,
about that?
that's a good
what
segue actually.
Do you know anything about Twitter? Like what Elon has cleared off of Twitter, dude?
cleared off.
They have like 200
Dude,
employees right now.
crazy, dude. So they have people from Twitter, right? Like in a courtroom, and they're like asking them questions, and like it's like proof that they blocked the CD, like people who went to Harvard and like Stanford and like studying COVID, that they purposely blocked stuff about COVID, about like boosters and not needing to take them. They purposely like blocked it off so people on Twitter wouldn't see it,
Yeah, this
so
is
that they
for
could traffic
media.
people to take. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And then they also, yeah, like the amount of bots that were on there, like it was
I'd
apparently
like to see
insane.
some of these articles though. Like I don't fuck with the media like that at all anymore, but I also feel like it works both ways. There's a lot of censorship on both
And
sides.
then, dude,
Like we're seeing it with Fox
there's a
too.
guy that they had on there, and he was like, he's in Twitter. He was like a big guy in Twitter, and he was like keeping thousands of profiles that like dealt with child pornography.
Jesus.
like thousands of videos, 50 like thousands of videos of child pornography, thousands of accounts that were supporting child pornography, and they completely kept them. They didn't block any of them. And then
That's
Elon got
unbelievable.
on there and they banned thousands of accounts. And this guy's tweets were like something about boys and the age of consent should be like 16.
Yeah,
And this
what
is like
sucks,
a guy who's and then they had a guy who was in the CIA who like deleted thousands of documents before Elon could get his hands on them. Before whenever he got traded over. He was like
Yeah.
dealing with all the documents for Twitter, and he was like trying to delete as many as he could before it got traded over to Elon, before Elon bought it.
See, this
There's
is
a
what
whole bunch of
sucks.
crazy stuff, dude, with Twitter. It's crazy.
This is what sucks about all of that, including like Fox, CNN, MSNBC. None of it's open source. None of it's all privatized. So you
Yeah.
don't get like just true journalism, and there
Yeah.
not ever going to be a way to make something like truly authentic ever again, simply
Nope.
because of how the internet has changed things. And I think that's a slippery slope, not just for our government and just politics, but everything else. And that includes every other country ever too. And the only way to solve it isn't a good solution either. It's straight up just
Jesus Christ.
censoring everything like China would do or something, where
Yeah.
you don't have access to Facebook. You don't have access to this. You only get access to what we
We
tell
have,
you. So there is no solution.
4 minutes left, by the way.
Oh, do we really?
Yeah.
All right,
That went
Cam's fastest time.
fast. I don't even know if we have time, to be honest.
Cameron's a little George Janko this podcast.
Yeah.
I have no. I liked
Mhm.
it. I have no
He's a little
input to
solid
add.
boy. I wanted to
Yeah.
be more funny. I didn't. Yeah, it's okay though. I should've
No,
brought
this
the
is
comedy.
this is
I'm-
exactly why I wanted Gaden on the pod, because I knew he could have a, deep discussion about something. So this was good.
I mean, yeah, I liked it. It'll be a
And I
different
wanted
kind of
someone
pod
with
for
a
sure.
different. I wanted someone with a differing view. I didn't know we were gonna talk politics, but I know me and Gaden don't always align with certain things. But I know he's like mature enough to hear it out, unlike other people I know. That isn't a shot at you, Cameron.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. Co-host.
Whatever.
No, it's not even a shot at Haas.
I-
Haas just typically will be really left wing, and we'll just go in circles because he's pretty much agreeing with me, just more like aggressively.
I will
And so
say
there's nothing-
that blew my mind that Jackson was that he was that far. I guess left, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, he's definitely the most left out of everyone. Just let it be
Yeah,
known, though, Gaden, I am not like full blown left. I am pretty much in the middle.
Oh, I did that. Well, it also blew my mind because I didn't think you were like left at all, really.
Oh yeah, no, I
I
have.
guess 'cause
I'm pretty.
most business people, I guess, are more like capitalist.
Yeah, I'm economically conservative, socially liberal for the most part, with the exception of certain like big ticket like topics such as like abortion and other things. I might lean more conservative or whatever per se. But yeah,
Well, I guess it only surprised me, I guess, because people who usually go to church for the most part are kind of like more, because Jackson's Christian, so it's like he's usually
Yeah.
they're more the views of like the Bible align more with what am I thinking? I guess right views because it's more traditional. If that makes any sense?
yeah.
For the
What I've
most part,
seen, what I've
which is
noticed
why
in,
it surprised me that Jackson was like super far left compared to like
yeah.
everybody else in the group. That's the only reason it
What I've
Shocking.
noticed with my family, especially because obviously my grandfather and his dad and everyone were pastors. The more education someone had in my family, the more they typically started swaying more left. So you could get into the conspiracy of maybe education's forcing some sort of agenda on you. Because my grandpa, who didn't have as much education, is ultra conservative.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of already known that most.
Okay,
schools
hold
are
up, 2
left.
minutes. I gotta do the shout outs real quick.
Oh,
If you want to get shouted out on my Twitter, I tweet out the podcast when they drop. All you gotta do is retweet it, and I'll shout you on the next one. Twitter's at Cam Hatchin. The 2 shout outs for this one is Cliff Lumen and Jackson Reed. Matthew didn't retweet. What?
No,
Crazy.
he was a
Matthew,
friend
I'm
of the
disappointed.
show no longer.
Yeah, fuck Matthew.
Clifford, though.
I don't
Cliff
fuck with
Lumen
that dude.
might be our new #1 viewer. Clifford.
All right,
This
let's
seems
go.
like a
All right, there's a minute 20. You guys can still talk. But yeah, I like it. You guys talk about Paul. I think anyone should be like anyone comes on the podcast. They can talk about whatever they want. I didn't want to just move on because I didn't have input in whatever
The
it was.
only reason I wanted to be more funny is because like the podcasts I listen to, I love when they're funny. I love listening to funny podcasts. So that's the only reason I say that.
Yeah, I
feel
get
like
that. I like a little mix.
I disappointed what I would usually go for.
Valid.
It's all good.
But
Yes.
that's the only reason.
Have anything left to add in the final 50 seconds, 49, 8:48? That's why it's different when I don't stream it.
I'll say this: happy to have had Gaden on the pod. It was everything I expected. Enjoyed the time, and I'll leave you with this: it was real, it was fun, but it wasn't real fun.
I'll be back. This time I'll be against Jackson. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, the next debate. I might just title it "Insane Political Debate."
That might get nasty between you two.
Oh yeah, it'll get nasty. Haas and Gadens.
Because I definitely have some more conservative-leaning views. Haas, I don't know.
It'd be like Andrew Tate versus Gretchen.
Yeah.
Greta Thunberg.
All right, peace out, boys.